As a father, my foremost concern is the well-being and future prospects of my children. I view each election as an opportunity to shape the world they will inherit, a responsibility I take seriously. However, the prevailing sentiment of voting blue no matter who has left me deeply troubled, as it undermines the very essence of democracy and fails to uphold the principles of critical thinking, accountability, and representation. For too long, I've witnessed fellow Democratic voters blindly adhere to party lines, prioritizing partisan loyalty over thoughtful consideration of individual candidates. The notion that one must vote for the Democratic candidate regardless of their qualifications or track record strikes me as fundamentally anti-democratic. It suggests a lack of engagement with the democratic process, reducing elections to mere team sports, rather than exercises in civic duty and responsibility. The consequences of this mentality are far-reaching and very concerning, particularly when viewed through the lens of parenthood. As a father, I am acutely aware of the importance of fostering independent thinking and encouraging my children to make informed decisions based on their values and their principles. Yet the prevailing narrative of voting blue no matter who sends the opposite message. It stifles dissent, discourages critical thinking, and promotes blind allegiance to party ideology. Moreover, as I reflect on the current political landscape, I am struck by the irony of the situation. The very party that claims to champion progressive values and inclusivity often resorts to tactics that undermine these principles. By insisting on voting strictly along party lines, Democratic leaders risk alienating independent-minded voters like myself, who seek candidates with integrity, vision, and a commitment to representing the interests of all Americans, not just the party faithful. In the context of the upcoming election, I find myself drawn to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as a candidate who embodies these qualities I value in a leader. While I may not agree with him on every issue, I am inspired by his passion for social justice, his dedication to environmental conservation, and his unwavering commitment to truth and transparency. As a father, I want to support a candidate who prioritizes the well-being of future generations and seeks to build a more equitable and sustainable world for children, particularly my children and my grandchildren. Furthermore, my decision to vote for RFK Jr. is not merely a rejection of the Democratic Party establishment, it's a reaffirmation of my belief in the democratic process itself. I refuse to be pigeonholed into voting for a candidate simply because of their party affiliation. Instead, I choose to exercise my right to vote conscientiously, weighing the merits of each candidate based on their qualifications, their values, and their vision for the future. In contrast to the rigid adherence to party lines advocated by voting blue no matter who, I believe in the importance of independent thought, critical analysis, and informed decision-making. As a father, I want to set an example for my children by engaging thoughtfully in the political process and voting according to my conscience, rather than succumbing to peer pressure or partisan rhetoric. It's worth acknowledging that my decision to support RFK Jr. may not align with the preferences of some Democratic voters, who view party unity as paramount. However, I firmly believe that true unity can only be achieved through diversity of thought and open dialogue, not through blind conformity to a single ideology. As the election approaches, I urge everyone out there to embrace a more inclusive and democratic approach to politics. Let us move beyond the confines of voting blue no matter who, and instead strive to elect candidates who embody the values and principles that we all hold dear. Only then can we truly fulfill the promise of democracy and build a better future for our children and their children and their children's children, generations to come.